This was unfortunately the entry with the 8-star difficulty, I believe, and as a result, I think it suffered from the mapping category, although it seems to be its strongest attribute given the ELO scoring. So really well done to Evangelion Man for completing this entry completely on their own. Huge respects.
All right, next up, number 38 is Untitled_1 by The Microwaves. Mapped by Spartan and Cibola Vladimir. Chromapoli producing the music, and Erika creating the illustration. Description is also listed as the storyboarder. This one? Not sure if there was one on there, but either way, nice mixed entry, this one.
Yes, I can confirm that that is the real title of the song. We checked.
Next up, Neon Rebellion by Team The Abyss. Now, this is an interesting one. I think many would regard this as being the most meme entry of the maps ever submitted, but we like those as well. This one was by Chris, Kakashi Sensei, Intiaz, Hazu, and Cosmolade.
Okay, moving into slot 36, we have Along the Cycle, presented by Team Moonleaf Extend. This team was formed by Team Captain Bakery, and who is mapping, Kojio, also mapper, Tufani, who did the music, and Sardines, who did the illustration.
Now, if you're familiar with contests, you might recognize this team name, because it is actually a derivative of a team formed for the Kyoku 2024 contest, which was also a contest where people created original music maps and storyboards. Now, it was a little minor oversight, but there are minor tells which could indicate some of the team members, like this one. We'll see about next iteration if we can pay more close attention to that.
It may be worth mentioning that the reason why the gameplay score suffered, as I noticed some people are mentioning, is because it was missing an insane difficulty.
Next up, number 35, we've got Brain Fryer, presented by Team RGB. Mapped by Amon, with hit sounding by Fujin, illustration by Who to Play, and the music provided by Artakni. Some hardcore here. Can just go very hard with a map to boot.
Yeah, I've spoken to a couple of people. They really like the song, and we can see that the song quality is the strongest attribute for this entry.
Next up for number 34 is Maelstrom by Team Dubstep for Lyrics. Mapped by Nick, Kevin, Sella, Nemis, Wispy. And composed and illustrated by Sugasugi, with Nick also taking all the hit sounds.
Fun fact, this team was the only team that submitted an initially unacceptable team name and was required to change it. All right, for this next entry, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, but we have Ainor. Sure. This is presented by Team Demiurge Zero. Team captain Ataclef, who made the composition, and it was mapped by K Chrono Z, It's Cactus, Agagak, with Mayonnaise Chan as the illustrator. The mapping score of this suffered a minor penalty because this set was missing a hard difficulty, I believe. But as we saw earlier, there weren't that many people who voted at the hard difficulty level, so the penalty was not as extreme as some other entries, which were maybe missing an insane or an extra.
Right, number 32 then. Next song is Natsuutsu feat Kasane Teto. Those few fans out there in the chat for this one. By Team Annie Team. This one's pretty cool because a song by the alias of TT Mouse is actually the musician, but also involved with mapping and also doing the illustration, as well as Yorita Yoshino there. But also a team of mappers at their back. Sama Haramasa, Yorita Yoshino, of course, Nika Mika, and YFBMP putting this map together.
Now, some people in the chat are asking interesting questions about the showcase itself. The elephant in the room being that there apparently seems to be missing repeats, slider repeats. Minor mistake. These excuses for having 24 hours to make this showcase, but it's just a consequence of the program used to make these videos.
Just keeping chat on their toes.
Indeed. No, the maps are not filled to the brim with barrage sliders. They do have slider repeats, or are supposed to have.
I have to say it's really interesting to see like the distribution of the workload in some of the teams. Like here we have an entry where all 5 people contributed towards the mapping.
Now, welcome to number 31, Unbound by HTM Enjoyers. We had Rofo making the music, Crabtown going ham on that video, Boban Vito's doing the mapping for an excellent entry. This is not a storyboard, it's a video. I would be very, very impressed if this was done using storyboard mechanics, but no. But this is still very high quality stuff, I'd say.
All the entries are extremely high quality this year. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to express my opinion.
No.
Right, sliding into the 30th entry, we have Pondering Magic, presented by a team that submitted it by the deadline. We do well with deadlines. This is captained by Clortol, who did some of the mapping, Melons, who also did the mapping, Aphil, the musician, and Cure Maniac, who I believe I saw in the chat earlier, doing the illustration. So, well done to this team for making the top 30 among all the entries.
Next up, number 29, Ryu no Majo by Team One Head. And that number 1 is pertinent because this is a one-man band once again by Rolnichi, who is pretty well known for his standard mapping. This is a one-person project. All the music, all the mapping, and the designing as well, all by Rolnichi. So congratulations on that. That's a great achievement to any of the one-man band as well in this competition. Really cool to see.
Just want to point out that this is the last of the one-man entries we will be seeing, so particularly well done for being the highest ranked solo act. Hats off to you.
Next up on number 28 is The Epiphany by Team Lazy Seals. Now, they certainly weren't lazy because they managed to bring in an entire team, including Lee Neri for the illustration and the storyboard, Ivari and Smoothie Cloud collaborating on the music, and Rudinator and 919 creating all of the difficulties. Now, this is one of 2 instances where, due to the format of the contest, because for context, teams were required to submit spreads starting from easy all the way up to expert. But there were a few entries like this one that submitted a spread starting from normal. So this one was a normal, hard, insane, expert, and a higher than that. Now, due to the voting system requiring rigid spread names, the spread was shifted down. So the star ratings you were seeing on the map while you were voting were a bit higher than usual. Now, while this is a minor error on our part, this team won't really get penalized for that, other than maybe organically by if people want to vote less because the star rating is high.
All right, moving into 27th place, we have Encode Entropy by Team Augment Nova. This was captained by Riprider500, who composed this song, and it was mapped by Han, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, Tenext, Chiari, and the visual effects, storyboard, and illustration was done by X Ill. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Sorry if I am not. Very explosive and energetic entry. And we're starting to see scores pushing above 1,500 elo now.
Okay, number 26 then is Almom by Team Oxsky. A very interesting, unique entry this. Music created by R. Roland D and mapped by R. Roland D, as well as Magor, Hyber and Niartin. Also featuring a very interesting storyboard and illustration, also by Hyber. An entry that definitely stands out quite a lot.
Now we have number 25, Starry Comet by Osu2VN. Starting off with interesting sliders by one of the mappers, Eresh Sanzu or Ducky. And then we have creating the music and some of the VFX, Jung Sabiro 0159 for the mouthful, and Ningwan creating a storyboard, or credited as such, but I'm pretty sure this one does not have one. minor mistake on the crediting there.
Alright, sliding into 24th place, we have Taiko World Cup, question mark? I mean, it's August right now, so really not sure what's happening here. This is Heart of Epitaph, and it is composed jointly by Pitar124 and Rayval, and mapped by Hitomi Shi with the funk on visuals.
Number 23 then is going to be Replay, provided by Team Divergence, a song by Eidolon, who also helped create the video and the VFX, mapped by Pukpao, have also provided a storyboard to accompany it. Kanui providing the hit sounds, and Super Green Tea providing the adorable illustrations. An entry that fits OC very well. It's the aesthetic I tend to associate with the game. Very, very fitting for an OC contest, I must say.
Next up is number 22, Inochi by Team Cricket Ghost. This is an interesting entry that, if you saw the ELO value from the map before, this one jumped by 100 ELO, significantly, I don't know if it's better or worse, but significantly higher score than the last one. This one was mapped by Karen, Skystar and Garden, with design work from Don W. Palace, and music by Liao Xing Jiao.
I just wanted to mention that while reviewing the registrations for the contest, it was really interesting to see all sorts of users, old and new, come together to compete in this contest. It was really quite something to see. All right, now moving into 21. So this is we're halfway through all the entries now. This is Prism Fall by Team Miku Fan Club. We have Darkney doing the composition and the design, Kafaka doing the storyboard, and Bobby Baseball 06 and Awawa doing the mapping. one interesting thing to note is that for this entry, every background has a different color depending on the difficulty you play.
Now, this isn't really visible here because we're looking at the storyboard that was supplied for this beat map. But if you turn off the storyboard, then you'd see different colors based on the difficulty you selected.
Yes, but it is a unique detail nonetheless.
Indeed. Oh, we do have the background showing up here at the end. Again, if you were to select the difficulty, that background would be a different color.
Number 20 into the top 20 now with our next entry, Super Kitten Travel Hex, provided by Team Fetch Quest. The music provided by Wangle Line, also mapped by Utiba, Coppertine, and Chidodo. RSC providing the illustration, Utiba also providing the VFX for this one, and Coppertine providing a bit of a storyboard as well. A lovely piece here. Again, it kind of suits the aesthetic of Osu well. Very upbeat, and a very cool map to boot. Did enjoy this one a lot.
We'll have to note again about the crediting that this map doesn't actually have a storyboard, but these credits are coming from the teams themselves, so I guess we didn't check it early enough. Sorry about that. But no, this one doesn't have a storyboard. Maybe it was planned, but unfortunately it didn't.
It happens.
Still a really cool background.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool artwork on this one.
It's honestly kind of scary that the public seems to think there are 19 entries better than that one.
Yeah, speaking of 19, at number 19 we have Long Live the King by Team Church of Peppy. Now, Peppy did not participate in this team. Instead we had Evil, Lynx, and Omikyu making the beat map, and Nikki, Nikki created the music and a bunch of other things, so many spreads contributing to the storyboard. a lot of roles on this one. Many people contributing to many things. Now, this is an interesting map, or an interesting visuals for that matter. As you might know, the background depicts the current ranked 1 player on the game. It's Emrek. Bit of a surprising entry this one. Maybe it could be considered a bit of a meme, but...
Did you just call Emrek a meme?
I'm not sure about the team name though. The team name definitely might be a meme. Creating an entire map in homage to the best player is an interesting choice. Makes me wonder if any other top players are referenced in any of these entries. We'll find out.
Alright, in 18th place we have Become One Again, featuring Hatsune Miku by team we couldn't agree on naming, which is a pretty funny team name. We have 70 as the composer-musician for this, and it was mapped by Decor, Alvieria, and Schmicklack, who also did the storyboarding. Finally, we have Polytetral doing the VFX for the entry. I do remember hearing a comment about hearing how it's nice that there are so many Vocaloid entries in the contest.
There's quite a few, yeah. Quite a few with vocals as well. Very cool. Yeah, good ratio with vocals, I've noticed.
This is a rare opinionated comment, but I feel like the hand at the beginning is kind of creepy. Not gonna lie.
So smooth. It's a very smooth animation. Okay, number 17 then is going to be Asphyxia Shout out to the mapper. By Team Picardia. Song produced by City and mapped by Firyu and Astronic, as well as a very astronomic storyboard provided by Saivatsia and Auratos. Saivatsia also providing the design for it. A storyboard that definitely puts the story in storyboard. Very, very nice little tale told here.
I wouldn't really want to interrupt such a lovely storyboard, but since we're on a column section, I thought I'd mention that. If you notice that this map had a higher star rating than usual, that is because this was the other entry that had its difficulty name shifted down. Again, this was submitted as normal, hard, insane, expert, and expert plus, was shifted down to easy, normal, hard, insane, and expert.
But in spite of that, it still managed to secure quite a high ranking for the gameplay.
Indeed. At number 16, we have Dahlia by Team We Need a Pole. Music by Grimbeck. Also made some of the map and the hit sounds. Redfo doing the mapping. Ailey doing the lovely vocals. Also contributed some of the VFX. Saturn doing the illustration, and Zeth doing the design work also.
All right, moving into the top 15 now. We have Kinetic Flux by Team Metamorphosis, stylized with a Greek phi. Although I think I think with romanization, I think it's just going to have to be in English. This team was led by Bullmaster Flex, who led on the design, and had storyboard done by Rice SS, with Metahuman Boy on the music, Gordon and Mint Ice Cream doing the mapping.
When the storyboard is the storyboard code. Get a bit meta here.
Certainly fits the vibes. Very electronic, very high-tech.
Right, number 14 then. This is Paint the Ocean Blue, featuring Cassilish, provided by Team Gumiho. Music provided by Anjay, who is going by the alias Fox Rush here. Mapped by Majiro McQueen and Ceres. Illustration and visual design by Kaelius and also Choki, providing the storyboard and also helping with the VFX here as well. Another nice full package entry here that's really good on all fronts, honestly. Great project all around.
At number 13, we have Vitality Charger by Team Sigma. Saikani doing the mapping and storyboard. Zyrus doing music, and Ranimaru on the illustration front. This is a song by Cyrus, and it features Hanakuma Chifuyu, which is a Vocaloid.
Just want to point out how impressive it is that this is just a 3-person team.
Yep.
There are no duos in this contest as far as I'm aware, only one man, so only solo acts, and so this is the next in terms of the number of people participating. So props to them for making it this far. All right, sliding into the 12th spot, we have our first adventure by Team Red. Oh, sorry, Team Red, but blue. This is a wonderful song by Red Side, mapped by Vox and Zero G. The illustration by Red Sea XCA and storyboarded by Meowmix. Very tranquil and very relaxed entry, I would say.
When I was playing through all the maps, this is the very first one I played. Fitting it was the first adventure, I suppose. Number 11 is Against Cacophony, featuring vocals by Mai. Presented by Team Oh Whoa Yay, with the music, storyboarding, and also some of the mapping provided by Nominomu. Illustration by New Penyu, and also mapping provided by Nightcore and Amethystol for this one.
We are entering the top 10. First up, High Dive by Team Fruit Salad. Mapped by Nuclei, R3M, illustrated by Pineapple, who also contributed mapping as well as binary storyboarding and mapping. And Jubaby, who contributed the music, who you might recognize, was announced as a featured artist just yesterday. If you just noticed the ELO numbers, or if you were paying attention, this one had a big jump. Totally because we've entered the top 10, and we've started entering quite high quality storyboards and songs and maps in general.
I just want to mention, it's kind of a random segue, but is Locus just a really cool word? Because a lot of people are just putting it into their entries. Like I noticed a lot of people putting the logo or the word in their entry. I just think it's really funny. Like there was no requirement to do so, but here we are.
Now if you remember, only the top 5 will get the big prizes. So if you still haven't seen your entry, it means this is the moment of judgment. see if you have made it all the way.
I'll say the quality of entries has been so good. I feel like so many of these you could be flipping around all over the shop in terms of the weighting, and it'd be totally okay. The turnout has been so great.
You're absolutely correct on that.
In 9th place, we have Riftwalker by Team Axioma. This was a very, shall we say, publicized entry. It featured quite heavily in the teasers that we posted, and this was led by BTMC, who was quite vocal about his participation in the contest. The music is done by Cry.exe, storyboard and designed by Venerable Nyanta, with Spoo on illustration and Ryusei Aika on mapping. We notice extremely high scores on the graphic and the music, but unfortunately a bit of a stumble on the mapping department.
Number 8 is Distance of Radial by Team CN2K. The song produced by Kanamiko, and an incredibly stacked team this, mapped by Sing and Captain One. Sing also providing the design, Captain One providing the hit sounding, and fittingly the storyboarder is by, well, storyboarder. It's a very, very good storyboard this. Great technical achievement. A fantastic all-around project this.
Placing at number 7, we have Datsura Shiva by Team Meguro. We have Devious Panda and Ilyas on the mapping. Music by NMY, featuring a low graphics storyboard and illustration by Moka-san.
Oh, this storyboard is so pretty.
And this is both with huge congratulations and commiserations for missing out on the top 5, but this is the last entry before we enter the winners. This is Lost Night Meteor by Team Meteors. Team Captain Naingami doing the storyboard and mapping. Uni Kanase doing music. Lee God, Arushi, and Matsuyuki Ame doing the mapping, with Arushi doing additional illustrations. Overall, a very solid entry with number 2 on the gameplay. All right. With that concludes all the entries up till except for the last 5. Now, I just want to point out that for most of the entries you've seen so far today, the team members are eligible for a badge if they are able to rank the set before the next iteration of the conclusion of the next iteration of the contest. And all the team captains have been emailed if they are eligible. And finally, we're now down to the last 5 entries. If the entry has not been named so far, it means it is a winning entry, so congratulations. These 5 special entries will all win equal prizes. As was stated in the rules of the contest, they will win an equal prize, that being the entry will be bundled with a fresh installation of the game. All the team members will receive a unique user title befitting the role, and finally, they will also receive a unique badge tied to their entry. That being said, we're all eager to know how the voting actually went down, so without further ado, the winning entries of Locus 2025. Take it away.
Pause? Stalling? No,
Yeah.
we're joking.
Oh no, the comedic
the next
the timing.
entry, the number 5. Indeed, still stalling.
It's okay. We're gonna have to do an
Oh, no.
acapella, guys.
No, I think we're gonna announce the entries before we play them, right?
We're announcing, yeah.
Yeah.
We're just stalling. Anyway, number 5 is Team Vocaloid Lovers. We are missing audio. All right, congratulations to Vocaloid lovers for getting 5th place on this contest, with Kuroise doing the VFX, Arxe doing the music and mapping, Defi doing some Vocaloid tuning and mapping, Kawashiro on the lyrics, and also mapping, and Type doing all the illustration. And this is a very, very interesting entry. It is the first one, and actually the only entry in this contest, to feature storyboard triggers. If you don't know what that is, storyboard triggers is a rarely used mechanic that lets you interact with a storyboard. If you notice that this map actually has 4 different endings, and the way you get the different endings, well, I'm gonna spoil them right here. You hit basically the last note to get a fail ending, and you miss the last note to get a good ending. It's a very unique mechanic and will surely be a very unique addition to the bundle maps for beginners of the game to learn about this mechanic, since I'm pretty sure not a lot of bundle maps have triggers. Now, interestingly, if you noticed, the autoplay there hit the last note but also got the good ending. It's supposed to be flipped, but because of how the showcase was made, we're showcasing just the good ending. Alright. That's about it for Vocaloid lovers. Thank you so much for creating this entry, and congratulations on getting top 5.
All right, moving into 4th place, we have Team Vespera. Team Vespera was composed of team leader Sakura006, who did the graphics and visual effects, Akiri, who composed the song, Fiery Rage, who did the map, Dreamsiety, and Shaurani doing illustrations. Sakura is a good friend of mine. We work closely together in the World Cups, and if I'm not mistaken, his team is actually currently holed up in a hotel room somewhere watching the showcase live. It's really such just this team synergy, this camaraderie. I don't know. All these people obviously have worked closely together in the World Cups, as you've noticed over the past 2 years. We've had very interesting designs, such a huge step up in World Cup design production, mainly spearheaded by Sakura. And yeah, this is such a beautiful entry. I don't really know what else to say about it. There is so much background work done on this entry. I'm sure it will be much appreciated by newcomers to the game.
On that note as well, this entry is actually unique in the sense that it actually does have a completely custom skin on it, which unfortunately we couldn't quite show in the video, but it has a full skin. It's, I believe, Touchwood, it may be the only entry to do so, which is, like I say, this one went all the way in its design. It's absolutely amazing. Like, hats off to all involved with this one. I suppose, following on from that one, we need to get into number 3 of Locus 2025. Number 3 is going to be Team 5-Head.
Together, standing in our way. So why is all I see just a shadow from a sentimental place? Your colors are melting away. Summer breeze takes over my senses, chest, I teary eyes. Cause you're somewhere I can't seem to find. Can you hear me call your name? In a hazy summer night, could you tell me it's alright one more time? Cause every passing moment, every piece of you and I might be scattered till the day that I die. But I know that I'll be okay, cause I know one day we'll do it again. I hope you're proud of who I became.
Congratulations once again to Team 5-Head, placing in the top 5. Of course, I'm sure many people recognize the voice on this one when they played it. Vocals, of course, provided by the one and only Will Stetson, with the music produced by Kiame in tow. Mapped by very popular mapper Sotarks, who also provided the hit sounds. Storyboarded by the one and only Nofri, and the lovely background art by Tofu Man. It's a project that I think showcases like the mastery of everyone involved. These all are masters of their art. Such a high quality production here, and also a map that, among a lot of the entries which were quite technical, quite tricky on the mapping, this one, of course, again shows the mastery of Sotarks at making something just a joy to play. And certainly for bundled maps, I think that'll be a very, very good addition. Congratulations to Team 5-Head. Absolutely love that engine.
Indeed. And we're almost done here. We have the runner-up of this contest. At number 2, we have Team Silence 2 v7.27694420 Unlimited Synthworks. Alright, congratulations to Team Silence, whose team name I will not read again. Saki Hirotei creating the song Haiboku no Ultra Vida. Haiboku no Ultra Vida, and Ioka doing the illustration, graphic design, and the storyboard. And everyone else on the team, including the ones I just mentioned, Mahiro Shina, Esko Maria, and Karchak doing the mapping. This was a real team effort. I just mentioned, I'm informed that these people are actually friends. So it's really good synergy on this team, that one. And for such a high caliber entry, I guess it's not surprising that it got so high up. Really excellent storyboard. This is the storyboard, by the way. It's not a video. You saw those credits.
Yeah, even that that staircase bit, it's so smooth. No, it's all storyboard, all S-bead, and it's so cool, honestly. The technical achievement from some of the storyboards in this contest, not just in this entry, but in many of them, have been just fantastic. How far they've pushed the system.
Pushing the limits of the system, indeed.
A well-deserved number one on the graphics.
Yeah. It has a chess theme, which might be inspired by the ELO voting system, since, as you know, chess uses the ELO voting system, which we thought was quite neat. And it had the chess slider, as everyone was pointing out in chat. Very excellent entry on all fronts, connecting together in so many ways. both in terms of the team and the theming, map, music, and storyboard. Thank you so much, Team Silent Through, for creating this entry, and congratulations for getting number 2 on Locus.
And with that, we finally unveil our final entry by Team Hexagram. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Team Hexagram, Locus of Hexagram. This was an entry formed by a team captain Chaos Litz, Otosaka Yu, Saros, Momoyo, and Tara376. Honestly, I'm at a loss for words. Hats off to you. You absolutely smashed it. 4 fun graphics, first on music and first on beat mapping. Really well done, well deserved, and I am sure your entry will be well loved by many, as is evident in the Twitch chat, and I'm sure many newcomers to the game will be very appreciative of your wonderful entry.
So cool, honestly. For that entry for Team Hexagram, a lot of names that have been in the community for a very long time here, and they absolutely cooked with this entry. Just fantastic work all around.
Indeed. Now, we're not showing ELO values on this screen, but you would have noticed if you paid attention that the ELO jumped up by 117 points. This one gapped number 2 by quite a lot, and indeed, for quite a while during the voting phase, or well, most of it, it was quite obvious that this one would win, let's be honest. This one was well liked by basically everyone.
All right, and that is it for the Locus 2025 results. But stick around, we've got a few more things to talk about. Firstly, a bit of a story. You won't believe the amount of back and forth discussion we've had over the past 2 weeks about what the user title should be. Now, originally, the idea was to award something along the lines of Elite Mapper Locus for the winners, but then we realized we'd have to give out 10 Elite Mapper roles, which didn't really seem right. Then we'd also have to give out Elite Storyboarder, Elite Illustrator, and other things, which honestly is a bit of a precedent that we didn't really want to get into. Then we floated on the ideas of just Locus 2025 winner, and that just seemed a bit lame. Then, after an extremely stressful evening last night, I woke up in the middle of a dream, struck with inspiration at 3 a.m. I literally jumped out of bed for this. To the winners of Locus 2025, and probably subsequent iterations, we bestow upon the grand title of Architect. That is Arc, as in the Arc of a Locus, and Architect because you all wonderful people have constructed things for this game and community. All right, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you for every team for participating, regardless if you were able to submit an entry or not. I also want to thank the hosting team for the contributions towards the running of the contest. In alphabetical order, we have Adarin for doing the Locus logo, Doomsday for advising on the contest and being here with us today, Ephemeral for advising, Hy-Vee for advising, Matrix for coming up with the initial idea and planning proposal in its early stages, Com from the Nuot community for developing the ELO system, the lovely Pishyfat for advising and assisting behind the scenes, most notably at COE, Tanza for developing the majority of the graphic and stream assets and design, Venix for developing the voting website, a huge undertaking that was. And finally, certainly last but not least, we have Wallavucci for literally carrying this whole operation behind the scenes as a stalwart pillar of stability. And a final special thanks to Peppy for supporting us from behind the scenes as well.
It's been a wild ride. And a really strong start it did have. Like, I think everyone was excited when the contest was announced, right? This was in the works for literal years, by the way.
Yeah, so I think this contest definitely had a very strong start, and it was definitely well received by many. But we recognize that there were certainly hiccups along the way, and the contest organization could have been improved. It's honestly been a genuinely humbling experience, and I've got a lot to learn before the next iteration of the contest. We will be posting a feedback form that will be open for 2 weeks for all parties to give feedback. Just keep an eye out for that in the news post that we'll be posting either today or tomorrow. And after that, we'll be posting a postmortem and taking in feedback from everyone on how we can ensure to make the next iteration to be the best iteration that it can be. And with that, we move on to the post-credit scene, I think.
We are almost done here. Not quite. Indeed, we're not done. We have another announcement to make, and Peppy, the creator of the day, the creator of the game, was tasked with picking out his favorite entry that would receive a wildcard prize. If you remember, this was announced back in January. Now, Peppy has a message for us. Although he couldn't come to announce it himself, there's a little voice clip that we can play, and we'll let Peppy take it away from this one.
Hey guys, Peppy here. I was tasked with making a Peppy pick for the Locus contest. I usually do this kind of thing for the art contests, just to choose like a bit of an out there choice that isn't in the top the top user picks. I'm not used to it taking this much time though. There was a lot of high quality work, and it made it very difficult for me to make a call on this. So yeah, I basically set out my criteria for this, which was that being this kind of contest, I kind of had an idea in my head of what it should be, especially on the first iteration. So I took that into it as like a bit of a subjective take. And yeah, I was also focused on, I went through the hard difficulties. I didn't go through the highest difficulties as most people probably would have during the voting process, just to give a bit of a different angle on the beat mapping side of things. Yeah, and I was pretty close call between the two final picks I had, which was the Meguro Datura Shiva and Axioma Riftwalker. I ended up deciding on Riftwalker by a very small margin, and I think what did it for me was the mapping side was just a bit more in my style of mapping, and yeah, the storyboard on Datura Shiva was amazing. Like if I was going for first place storyboard, that would take it. That was really well done. But Riftwalker also had a very matching storyboard, very punchy and aligning with the music and the beat map very well. So good job to both of these entries. But yep, that's my Peppy pick. Really huge congratulations to everyone that entered the contest and helped make this what it has been, and also a huge thanks and congratulations to the team for making this happen. I really hope to see more things like this, because it's amazing to me seeing the community make these kinds of coming together and creating these amazing creations. That's what OS has always been to me. So yeah, really cool to see. Thanks all.
And with Peppy having made his choice, Riftwalker by Team Axioma gets the mystery prize. Now, you might ask, what is the mystery prize? Ladies and gentlemen, this entry by BTMC, Crowd.exe, Venerable Yanta, Spoo, and the UC Aika will also be bundled in the game. New installations of the game will have this one bundled, just like the other entries on the top 5. And, most special of all, Peppy himself will favorite the map set.
That's a wrap, folks. It's been a really long journey. It's been over 6 months, over half a year. But we can finally rest. Actually, not really, because we still have to do the feedback form and the news post and all the things. There is honestly so much going on in this contest. There's a lot happening behind the scenes. We've all been working tirelessly, and thank you, everyone. Whether you were a participant, a spectator, or whatever, thank you for being here and making this event the special one that it is.
Absolutely. And I'd like to just step in real quick and do one more thank you myself. I want to do a big shout out. It's a big shout out here for Mango for being the linchpin of this whole event. And as you mentioned, this has been going on for years at this point. The planning for this has been a long and arduous one, but honestly, the results, I think, speak for themselves. It's been absolutely fantastic. And I just want to say a big thank you for putting your time in to make all this possible. It's honestly just fantastic to be a part of it all.
It would indeed not have happened without every single contribution from everyone in the team. Everyone just kept one-upping each other to try to make this contest better. I have rarely seen anything as exciting as something like this. And with that, I think it's about to make a wrap. Thank you everyone for watching Locus 2025. This has been the results showcase. Congratulations to all the teams that won. Doomsday, Mango, do you have anything to say?
Nope.
I'm all good.
I'm all good. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Take care, everyone.